Okay, so let's see. Let's start off just in a nice, easy seat. You can bring yourself up onto a block or to a bolster, or just leave your sit bones down on the ground. We're going to bring our ears above our shoulders, above our hips, and then let your shoulders fall down away from your ears. And we'll take a couple moments just to wiggle around here. So take a couple side stretches, take your arms up and over your head as you lean from side to side. Maybe roll your head out a couple times, rolling out your neck. Maybe a couple little twists. And once you get all your wiggles out, once you get all the movement out, you kind of check in with all over. We'll start to work more into stillness. And slowly find your way there, calming down all the parts of your body, letting all the parts of your body relax. We are still going to use our core to help us have really good posture. So notice where your belly button is. Pull your belly button in towards your organs. And then close your eyes. And just take your focus inside. Tonight, Wednesday night around 8 p.m., that full moon is going to be at its fullest point today. So today is really like a hump day. It really is like the peak of the week. Energy levels, momentum should start kind of starting to retreat after today. Today is the big day where everything outside is lit up. Everything outside of us is illuminated. Even if you go outside tonight at night and it's a clear night, the moon will make shadows. You'll see moon shadows. It's just wild. So there's brightness around us. Everything is illuminated. Our focus is therefore being asked to notice what's going on around us. This particular full moon is on the Gemini-Sagittarius axis, which is the knowledge axis. That is asking us to contemplate what we know or what we think we know, what we believe in, what we think is real and true. Just as we get into our practice this morning, I want you to kind of ask those questions into yourself and just see what comes back up. You don't need to fixate on finding the answer. I just want to invite those things to make themselves known. What is it that you think you know? What is it that you know that has changed? How has your truth changed over time, from the time that you were a little person to right now? Things change. It's beautiful. It's a really cool part of being alive. Slowly begin to crawl your hands out in front of you, lowering your chest down towards the ground, getting into your hips a little bit, allowing hips space to stretch, to open. And move your chest from side to side a couple times from this forward position. We'll crawl the chest over towards the right knee and then over towards the left knee, and just kind of swivel from side to side. Notice how your low back feels, how your hips feel. And then let's bring our spine back up to neutral. Bring your right hand over to your left knee. Inhale, lengthen your spine and look back over your left shoulder. Then just pause, twisting, breathing normally in your twist. Switch sides. We'll bring our left hand to our right knee. Inhale, tall spine, and twist. Breathe normally as you're twisted. Let's make our way back to center and change the order of your legs. So bring your back shin around to the front. We're gonna do that same thing again. We'll lengthen the spine, fold the chest forward over the legs, crawling your hands forward. And then just notice any difference that you may feel or not feel on this side. Slowly begin to move your chest from side to side, kind of sweeping or swiveling back and forth. Let's bring our spine back up to neutral. We'll twist again, this time a little bit of a different twist. Take your left hand over to your right knee. Keep your belly button pointing forward and bring that twist more into your upper spine. So we're gonna twist kind of between the shoulder blades, behind the heart space. This is an area that we all tend to get rigid. I work on a lot of bodies, and this is just where lots of people carry their stress. This is where lots of patterns kind of get stuck in the muscles. So see if you can relax, release, and allow them to budge and open. We'll move to the other side. Keep your belly button pointing at 12 o'clock. Right hand comes to your left knee. And twist open through your upper back. Move your spine back to neutral. Let's crawl over our knees and come into a tabletop position. We're gonna wake up all the joints this morning. So let's start with our spine, all those little vertebrae. Let's roll it up and down with cats and cows. I encourage you to keep your eyes open today. See what there is to see around you. That is kind of part of the symbology of the full moon. We're moving towards that new moon will be more of the time to look within, to close the eyes. But right now everything is lit up. So let's kind of go with that flow by just keeping our eyes open too. Bring your spine back to neutral. Let's pick up the right knee, point it over to the right side of the room, kind of like a dog on a fire hydrant. Make a couple great big circles with your knee around your hip. Change the direction of your circles if you haven't. Good. And take your right leg out long behind you. Stretch really long from hip to heel, and then engage your muscles. Pull muscle into bone. Squeezing your thigh, flexing your foot. Take your left hand forward, spinal stabilization. Bring that same strength into your arms, into your legs, into your core. So if someone were to walk by and bump into your arm or leg would stay really strong and would not budge, and that person would fall over. Let's bring our left hand back down below the shoulder. Set your right toes down on the left side of your mat. Look around your left shoulder for your heel. Take your right toes back to the mat behind you. So your leg is long, but your toes are on the ground. Press back into your heel. So we stretch the right calf muscle out a little bit. And from here, we're going to move into a side plank, this modified side plank. We'll put our left hand under our nose. Pivot your right heel to the ground, take your right hand up to the ceiling, and then look up towards your lifted fingers. You can keep your hand straight up to the ceiling above your shoulder, or you can reach your arm forward over your head, creating a long line from your right hand to your right foot. Now, if you've taken your hand over your head, reach it back up to the ceiling. We're going to move right into a threaded needle. So we're going to thread our right arm under our left arm. Bring your right knee back to the floor, and then set your weight down onto your right shoulder and your right temple. Take this curiosity that comes along with operating in the knowledge axis. And just be curious about your body. What all is there for you to explore and become acquainted with today? We get so busy living out of our bodies, like going to work and driving on the road and making sure we have food and making sure the bills are paid, that connection can just get a little bit quieter and a little bit quieter the more that we live outside of ourselves. So really tune in today. Be curious about what you know about yourself, what you think you know about yourself, and what you're holding on to that just might not be true anymore. Press into your left palm to move your right hand back up to the ceiling. Big twist, big opening with your chest. Both knees are on the mat. Make a couple circles with your right hand around your wrist. Change directions as it feels appropriate. And then start to circle right arm around, big, big circles. Change the direction of your circles. Good. Plant your palms down beneath your shoulders. Find your tabletop position. And then take a couple C curves with your spine. Wiggle from side to side. Notice what you can feel around your ribs, between your ribs and your pelvis, maybe even into your outer hips a little bit. And bring your spine back to neutral. Let's pick the left knee up so it points over to the left side of the room. Take a couple gigantic circles with your left knee around your left hip. Change the direction of your circles. And then take your left leg straight back behind you, nice and long. Engage through those leg muscles, pull them in towards your bone. Then take your right arm forward, spinal stabilization. Engage through arms, legs, core, front side of your body, back side of your body. And bring your hand down below your shoulder. Set your toes down on the right side of your mat. Look around your right shoulder for your heel. Bring your left toes back behind you. So your toes are straight back from your hip, toes are on the mat. Press back into your heel. Stretch out your left calf muscle. And modified side plank. Pivot your left heel to the ground. Take your left hand up to the ceiling. You can stay just like this, or you can take your left arm over your head, reaching for the wall ahead of you. If you're reaching forward, move your fingertips back up to the ceiling and begin to thread your needle, setting your left knee down on the mat. Threading left arm under right arm, lowering down onto your left shoulder and your left side of your head. Bring our hands back below the shoulders, and we'll find a melting heart pose next. So we'll keep our hips stacked on top of our knees, but crawl forward with your hands. Lower your chest, your forearms, your forehead down to the mat. Allow your chest to open. Take some deep breaths. And be curious about what you can find inside of your body. Slowly bring our way back up to a tabletop position. From table, we'll work into a plank pose. We'll take our legs back behind us, hands below shoulders, and we'll bring opposite hand to opposite shoulder. So we're just gonna tap our shoulders going side to side. We use some of this full moon energy, this peak that we're at today, to add a little fuel to our fire, help us exert a little bit more today. We'll do 5 more on each side. 4, 3, 2, and 1 more on each side. Awesome. Come back to your plank pose on or off your knees. Lower your body down to the mat. Move through 3 cobras with your breath. We inhale, chest up. We exhale, chest down. 2 more on your own. From this last cobra, make your way up and back for downward facing dog. From down dog, take some pedals, take some movement. Press down into both of your heels. And then walk your feet forward towards your hands. Let's bring our feet apart. wide so they land on the edges of the mat. Bring your spine up halfway so it's parallel with the ground, and then interlace your hands by your tailbone. Lengthen your arms, pressing your knuckles away from your shoulders, and then refold. Releasing your head down towards the ground, releasing your neck. Speaking of questioning what we know and being curious about what we know and why, I recently met a woman who grew up in a cult. Let's release our hands, grab onto the elbows for ragdoll. She spent the first several years of her life knowing and believing and thinking things that probably the rest of the world doesn't. And I just think that's wild. They were as true to her as true could be. It makes me wonder what all of the little things that we hold on to, like just the little beliefs we have, what's true and what's not. If we don't stop to examine them, then we'll never know. Be open to the idea of letting go of beliefs or changing your mind. Let's release our hands down to the ground. Walk your feet in together. You can take a halfway lift with an inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Extended mountain pose. Press down into the ground, lift up through your arms. Twist to the right. Right hand goes back. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist open to the left. Left hand goes back. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Take your left foot back. So all 10 toes point forward. We're in a lunge with our legs, but we're gonna twist. Reach the right hand up to the ceiling. Take a couple breaths here. Notice what's going on. Notice where your bones are, where your muscles are. And make sure that everything's accounted for. We're active throughout our body. We're engaged throughout our body. We're aware of our body. Let's bring the right hand back down to the ground so it frames the front foot. Step forward. All 10 toes line up at the top of the mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Extended mountain pose. Reach up for the ceiling. Twist left. Left hand goes back. Right hand goes forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. Right hand goes back. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold your way forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. And then take your right foot to the back of the mat for a twisted lunge. We'll leave our feet on the ground. We'll leave our right hand on the ground, but take your left hand up to the ceiling. And then work your focus through your body. Make sure you know where your shoulders are. We're not dumping anywhere. We're not flopping anywhere. Everything is just where it should be. Bring your left hand back down to frame your front foot. Step your right foot forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Extended mountain pose. Root down, reach up, hands to the ceiling. Right hand goes back, twist to the right. This time bring your right hand to your low back. Press your hips forward, take your left hand up to the ceiling. Big twist, a big kind of opening through your left side. Let's come back up to center, move slow. Breathe in, reach your hands up overhead. Then breathe out, twist open to the left. Left hand goes back. We bring our left hand to our low back. Press the hips forward, reach your right hand up and back. Notice that opening in the right side of the body. And slow and steady, come back to center. Take a breath in, hands go high. Exhale, fold your way forward. Halfway lift. Take your left foot back. This time we'll find a crescent lunge. We'll take our hands up over our shoulders. We've got all 10 toes pointing to 12 o'clock, pointing to the top edge of the mat. And hold steady. Set your eyes ahead. Focus ahead. Bring your hands to your hips, and then take 5 knee dips. Left knee dips down to the mat. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good. Come back to your crescent lunge with your legs and then your arms. With an inhale, stretch up as high as you can with your arms, your side body. With an exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Let's move it back to downward facing dog. Any way you choose to move. You can flow or you can press straight back. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. All right, listen up. We'll take the right leg up to the ceiling, lift it up high, and then exhale, knee to nose and hold. Squeeze that leg up towards your chest as high as you can. You want to engage, engage, engage. Play with this momentum of the moon. Then drop your right foot down between your hands. Warrior 2. Pivot your back heel to the ground. Take your hands forward and back. Flip your front hand up to the ceiling. Reverse your warrior up and back. Make your way back to warrior 2. Straighten out your front leg and reach your right hand forward, forward, forward till you can't anymore. Then come into triangle pose. Right hand to right shin, to a block, to a hover. Take your left hand up to the ceiling. Let's bring the chest down. So we frame the front foot with our hands. We'll pivot the back toes forward. So all 10 of our toes point to the top of the mat. Pull your chest forward, long spine, and then refold in this long pyramid pose. Bend into your front knee. So we've got that lunge shape again with our legs. From here, we're gonna move into a standing split. So you can crawl your hands out in front of you for a little extra balance. We're gonna press into the right leg to lift the left leg up off of the ground. Now, if you'd like, you can move your hands back towards your standing leg, your ankle, and try to balance it out. Good, let's come down, bringing both feet down to the mat side by side. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale and fold. Extended mountain pose, root and rise. Big reach up for the ceiling. This time, bring your right hand down to your right side. Lean over to the right, exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, switch, left hand comes down. We lean to the left side. Then inhale, back up through center. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Step your right foot back. Crescent lunge. Sweep your arms up overhead. Bring focus in with your eyes. We focus on one point. That helps us to stay grounded and present. It's also a good tool to indicate when our focus is shifting. Your eyes are moving around, your focus is probably moving. Let's bring our hands down to our hips. We'll take 5 dips with our back knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, take your arms back up. We'll move into crescent lunge again. All 10 toes point forward. With a big inhale, stretch up to the ceiling. And then an exhale, fold your chest towards your thighs. Sweep your leg back, high plank. From plank, work to downward facing dog, your choice on how you get there. Take a big breath in, then a big breath out. Take your left leg up to the ceiling, and then pull your knee towards your chest, hold and squeeze. Engage and use effort here. Really, really try to hug that leg up as high as you can. And then put it down between your hands, warrior 2. Pivot your heel to the ground in the back, stand up tall. Flip your left hand up to the ceiling, reverse your warrior. Come back down to warrior 2. Straighten out your left leg, reach your hand forward, 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 and then triangle pose. Left hand comes down, right hand reaches up high. Let's come into a long pyramid pose. Fold your chest down towards your left thigh. Pivot your right toes to point forward. So we've got all 10 toes pointing to the top of the mat. Lengthen your spine, pull your heart forward, and then refold, softening over your left leg. Bring a bend into your left knee, lifting off for standing splits. We'll plant into the left leg and we'll lift up through the right leg. You can stay or play around with this, trying to balance more by grabbing onto your ankle, or you can keep your fingertips on the ground. Plant both feet down on the mat, side by side. Bring a bend into the right knee, right fingertips on the mat. Take your left hand up to the ceiling, twist your way open. And then release, switch sides, left hand down, bend your left knee, take your right hand up high. And fold your way forward. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Extended mountain pose. Press into your feet, lift up through your hands. And then bow forward, exhale. Halfway lift. Move your feet back to a plank pose. From your plank, on or off your knees, lower your body down to the ground. Let's reach our right hand over to 3 o'clock. We're gonna roll onto our right side to stretch out the front of our right shoulder. Full moon wants to remind us that we don't know everything. We don't know it all. We are always learning, we are always growing, we're always adapting to our environment around us that changes. The natural world changes. Nothing is ever consistent. The tides, the seasons, the moons, everything, the energy, it all changes. Our brain feels better when we think we know. It becomes a lot less of a problem, all the change. If we think we know, if we hold on to what we know, then we feel a little bit better. But if we don't stop to examine the beliefs that we have, those little things that we think we know, we could be walking around with some weird, untrue things. And very slowly move to the other side. Roll back onto your stomach. Take your left hand over to 9 o'clock. And then roll onto your left side, stretching into the front of your left shoulder. The act of being curious about what you know, that asks us to kind of pause. It asks us to slow down. Before we initiate conversation, before we initiate decisions, a pause is warranted, especially if we're in this space of getting clear on what we know and what we think and what we believe in. So today especially, just with this full moon happening tonight, pause before you initiate conversation, before you throw any words around or make any decisions. And be curious, is this coming from that place that I was holding on to, that I thought I knew? Or is this like real time? Is this actual? Slowly move your body back to your stomach, back to neutral. Let's reach back with our arms, taking the fingertips to the wall behind us. One locust pose. Lift your chest, lift your legs up off of the ground. Reach back. And then release forward. Bring your hands beside your chest. Let's move up to hands and knees. And then come up to our knees. We'll stand up on our knees, nice and tall, ears above shoulders, above hips. We'll take a camel pose before we find the ground. So you can put your hands on your low back, or you can bring your hands to your heels. Either way, slowly begin to push your hips forward, and then lift your chin up towards the ceiling as the last part of the pose. Slowly bring ourselves up, back to a neutral spine. Pause for a moment here. We'll bring our hips down to the ground and then our spine down to the ground. Take your time getting there. Head, neck, and shoulders all relax, release down towards the mat beneath you. And let's bring our knees in towards our chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, lift your head up towards your knees. And then release head, neck, and shoulders back to the mat. Let's take a happy baby, lifting our feet up towards the ceiling and drawing the knees down beside your chest. Another one of the planets, well, there's a couple planets involved in the astrology of this moon, but a big one is Mars. Mars is right next to the moon. It will be at the same degree in the sky. So what we can take from that is we can ask ourselves, do my actions match my goals? Is there a positive correlation between what I want and what I'm doing? And this is not meant to be self-criticism central. This is not meant to be a time to bash ourselves. We think we're not doing enough. But in order to assess the situation, we need to look at it from an observer's point of view, from an outsider's point of view. Are the things that you're doing, the actions that you're taking, moving you in the direction of your goals, moving you in the direction of your desires, or not? No big deal either way. But just for your own benefit, be curious about that. Bring our spine back to neutral. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Arms open into a big wide T. Cross right knee over left knee and drop your knees down to the left side. Then shift your gaze off to the right. Move your legs and spine back to neutral. Change sides, cross left leg over right leg, drop your knees to the right side and your chin and cheeks to the left side. Let's move our legs, hips, spine back to neutral. And work your way into a triple diamond. Feet connected, fingers connected, knees and elbows open wide to the edges of the room. And just to whomever you like to pray to, or however you like to think about that side of things. Maybe just ask for the beliefs and thoughts that you've held on to that you maybe don't need anymore. Ask for them to be illuminated by this moon. The things that you thought you knew. Have some gratitude. Those things that you thought you knew got you through what they needed to get you through. Slowly begin to stretch out your legs, adding any additional stretches or movements that feel like you should indulge in. And then settle yourself down for a couple of moments in Shavasana. Begin to move your fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Take your arms up over your head and stretch out. Really long inhale, big reach. Exhale, big, soften, relax your muscles and bones. Pull your knees up towards your chest. Cross your legs at your feet and rock up to a seated position. From a seat, relax your shoulders down from your ears. Take your head to side a couple times. And then come to stillness. Let's inhale, take our arms out wide and reach them all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hands down to your heart center. With all my love and all my gratitude, namaste.